All right. Hey everyone. I'm Terrica White. My interview for Generational Trends. I interviewed Ariana Christina DeCure, and she is with the Mosaic Millennial generation. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background of Ariana's history and her story, and kind of go into why the questions I chose were pertinent. Ariana is a 24-year-old single parent of 2 children, with one son being disabled. Ariana attended church growing up as a child and as a teenager while she lived with her parents. At the age of 18, when Ariana was pregnant with her first child, she stopped attending church because she was ridiculed for having sex outside of marriage. Ariana knew she had made a mistake and that there were consequences to her mistake. However, she realized her actions did not please God, but she could not ignore the fact that people made fun of her and talked about her because of the choices that she had made. So as a result, she walked away from the church, ultimately walking away from God. So one of the questions I asked Ariana was, what brings you satisfaction in life? Ariana said that what brings her satisfaction is being able to take care of her young children without any financial help from family or friends. So she is still in a state where she is dealing with the fallout of not only having 1 but 2 children outside of marriage. Ariana also explained, though, that she also enjoys helping other single moms who have been disavowed by family because of the choices that they made also. So as of now, she works full-time, supports her 2 children as well as her handicapped son, Isaiah. And she also helps on her days off, babysit children on her off days whose parents work and can't afford childcare when they're having to work longer shifts. So I asked Ariana, what does the word church mean to you now versus what it meant back then, growing up as a child in your faith, being active in the youth group? And Ariana just explained, and this is her words verbatim: growing up as a child, the church was a place where I learned about God and how Jesus died on the cross to save my sins. I learned that no matter what I had done, as long as I was faithful and turned from my ways, the Lord would forgive me and no longer hold my sins against me. I held that message in my heart, and after the birth of my daughter, I repented and truly believed that the Lord forgave me. Somewhere along the lines, the church didn't get that memo, and I was made fun of and told I could no longer attend certain services or be at certain events because I was a young, unwed, single mom. If Jesus came to save the sinner and restore them back into eternal life with him, why wasn't I welcomed? The church has no meaning to me at this point. Who has it changed and who has it helped? What happens to the tithes that get collected? How much of it has been poured back into the community or used to help the people of the poor? I see pastors who drive around in Bentleys and Mercedes, and yet their church members are riding around on the bus. How is that helping the community? How is the church being active in the community? And one other thing that I wanted to just ask her was, what would it take to reconnect you back to your faith, realizing that the church is the people, but God is still God no matter what? And her response was, I want to see people in the church not condemn each other. I believe it's one thing to show me the error of my ways, but it's another thing to talk about me, berate me, and belittle me. My public sins were no different than their private failures. I will want to see churches out in the community helping to rebuild poor and low-income areas, rather than having a pastor drive around in a nice car waving to his congregants as they're waiting at the bus stop. When the church decides that they want to take their rightful place in the community and outside the comforts of their opulent buildings, I'll make the decision to return. That's it.